Hey friends, it's Leah Noel. I'm here to show you my 2021 finishes and my 2022 plans. So this is not going to be like a regular update because I just don't have time to go into like everything that I've been stitching on since I saw you last. If you have been to my channel before, you know that I am in grad school and I am entering my last semester of grad school, so hopefully in May I will be graduated and done with that, and I'm really chomping at the bit for school to be over. But I think at the end of this video I'll sort of give you a really super brief update, life update, just in case you're interested, in case you are a longtime follower and you are curious to know how things are going. Okay, I think I'm just gonna jump right into this because I'm limited on time. I was supposed to film this last week, but I got a cold. That's all I'll say. So I'm still recovering from that, but I'm okay. And I think I can get through this. So I'm gonna start with my finishes. I went through my planner. So I use these weekly planners. They're monthly, weekly planners. I love these. I know a lot of people use the Book of Days, and that's cool too. But I really prefer using, this is a week where I didn't get much stitching in because of school. But you see, it's got the weekly spread, and each day I can just write the project that I wrote on, or that I worked on, and that's how I keep track of things. And it does have like a monthly spread, which you can see I didn't fill any of this out for March because that was crazy time for me this year. But that's the monthly spread is what I can use for like plans, if I have plans, or if there's like a stitch along or somebody's birthday that I want to celebrate with stitching, or if I've got just some kind of stitching deadline, or that kind of thing. So I really love this. And in the back here, I just kind of went through and I listed out all of my finishes for 2021, and so I'll run through those now. So the first one, you've seen most of these finishes, I think, but the first one is Robin's Surprise. It's either okay. This is a design by Misty Purcell, Luminous Fibrous Arts. This design is either called Robin's Surprise or Robin's Discovery. I have a feeling it's Robin's Discovery because I always want to call it Robin's Surprise. This is on 40 count soft porcelain, which is dyed by Misty. And I just love this. I spoke about this one in a previous video, just why it's so meaningful to me. Oh, I love this one. Love it. Okay, the next one is Jane Marshall by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I stitched this on 28 count buttermilk linen. I believe it's buttermilk by Witchelt. And I pulled my own silk flosses. Most of them are Karen Waterlily silk, but I just adore this sampler because of the colors, because of how the colors turned out. It looks like a watercolor painting to me, I just love it. And I love these colors so much that I have another sampler in mind that is going to work out perfectly with these colors, and so I'm just going to do it basically again with a different sampler. I was gonna start it over winter break, but winter break is never as long as it should be. I'll just say that. I did manage a few new starts over winter break, but not as many as I had wanted. All right, next one is called White Cat by La Di Da. I thought I had the pattern here. I don't have it, but it does look a little bit different than the cover photo. But this is White Cat by La Di Da, and I made it to look like my cat Dudley, who is a Burman. And all of these flosses are color and cotton floss. The fabric is a 28 count Jobelin in, I think it's Cornflower by Witchold. Pretty sure it's Cornflower, but it just looked like, you know, like a summer day with all those puffy white clouds. So I just really liked it. And I did, I had to modify the pattern to make the cat look like my cat. And then I put his name, Dudley Dirks. Dirks is his middle name. Just silly, but. And then this is my initial symbol here and the date that I completed it. This was what I worked on at StitchCon for the most part, because it was just easy fill-in stitching, and I am not a fan of fill-in stitching, let me tell you. I love how it looks visually, and so I'm attracted to designs that have really big block sections with lots and lots of fill-in, but I just, I get so bored stitching it, so I'm just, but I have learned that fill-in stitching is perfect for visiting. Like when you're visiting with somebody, another stitcher, and you're just like, you don't have to think about it and you're just filling in. That is actually pretty enjoyable, because after your visit, you look down and you're like, wow, I've actually stitched a lot. So I have learned to appreciate it for that. Okay, next one is called Woodland Cottage. I did not bring this pattern out either. I should have, because I did modify it, but this is by Elizabeth's Designs, and I stitched it on 32 count vintage pearl barley by Lakeside Linens. Lakeside Linens is it's quickly becoming maybe my favorite fabric dyer. I don't know. Like I like it as much as Picture This Plus, which is, that's saying a lot. I really like Lakeside Linen. But this is Woodland Cottage, and I started this with my friend Christina. And I pulled, I did use some of the called for, but I pulled some of my own for things. I think I know I changed the bushes. These are supposed to be rose bushes, but I made light green French knots instead of red French knots, if you can see that, because I wanted these to look more like sage bushes. We spent some time in California, and this landscape just reminded me so much of California. It's got these grapes at the top and acorns. I changed the acorn colors. I changed the beads down here. I was gonna change these pumpkins to watermelons, but I stitched those like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different ways, and it just wasn't working. So I ended up stitching it as it was charted. I don't know, I just really loved this, and I stitched on it pretty monogamously until it was done. And I hardly ever do that, but I loved it so much, and I still love it. So I need to get that like framed or something. Okay, my next finish I'll save till the end because it's the best one. Okay, the next one. This is called Virgil L. Pierce, and okay, I'm a mess. I can't find the pattern for this. I'm sure I'll find it after the video, but This is called Virgil L. Pierce, and I believe it's by Needlework Press. And I thought it was just so darling, and I decided to stitch it to commemorate my son going to kindergarten. And let's see, I just put a little ribbon over our personal details here, but I love how this turned out. This is a 28 count sage linen by Witchelt. It's very see-through, you know, it's very see-through, but it'll be okay, you know, once it's like finished. Originally, I was thinking that I was gonna put this on like a photo book cover to make like a photo album of his first year of kindergarten, but I need to stop fooling myself because I'm just not gonna do that. I'm probably just gonna frame this and it'll be good. But the design, see, I wish I had the cover photo for you because on the cover photo, it shows her reproduction and the original. And the original had a super tall basketball hoop, and it also had this board, backboard behind it. And the reproduction does not have this board. It just has the post and the hoop, and she chose to lower the post a little bit. But I just really liked how the original looked, and so I just sort of modified my stitching to look more like the original, and but it's still, you know, it's still mostly the reproduction, you know, how it's charted. And then the other thing I added is down here I put the name of my son's elementary school. So the part that you can't see, but I left elementary so you can see how I did that. And that's all over one. And I put the year that he attends. So you'll see that's over one. And then here's my initials. This is my my initial symbol and the year that I completed it. This chart was super easy to do, and it was my travel piece for a while, and it's only 3 colors. So the chart I bought was on clearance at half price, and I think it's because there was a typo. There are only 3 colors, as I said, but the symbol key had 2 of the colors switched. But if you just look at the cover photo and the original, you can easily tell which ones got mixed up. So it was still easy, and I just think this is so darling. So I also replaced Virgil L. Pierce with my son's name, and I used the same spacing as the original. So this one is also really meaningful, really special stitch. Next is something that I don't know that you've seen on this channel yet, but around my birthday, I think this is my birthday start, and I did it in 2 days. When I was at StitchCon, I picked up this freebie, not freebie, but this is a booklet that was on the freebie table. And it's a bunch of seascapes, and there's no cover photos or anything, but you can see from a distance kind of like what they are. They're like they're just landscapes. See, they're just landscapes, and which is why it's called Seascapes. And there are 3 booklets, and I think this is readily available on eBay if you're interested. But I have a plan to stitch almost all of them, and for my birthday I started and finished 1, and I just went through my stash of fabrics and got I got a whole stack. So all the patterns use the same flosses in all of them, and I just went through my fabric stash and I pulled a bunch of small cuts and kind of match them to the designs. So I numbered the designs and I matched them all up. And so this is on a piece of 32 count Arctic linen by Picture This Plus. This is one of my very favorite colorways. And this is all, it's either all or mostly called for flosses, and they're all just DMC. But I thought this was just really sweet. It reminds me of California, like the Big Sur area. So beautiful. So this lives in project bag from my friend Christina, Quilting with Nico on Etsy. I love her bags. She has handles, and she sent this to me for my birthday, so I'll put my birthday start in there. And it was perfect because it's a sea theme, which, you know, she knows me. All right. So speaking of Christina, Christina, I'm speaking too fast. Speaking of Christina, I stitched just a tiny little small for her birthday. I don't have the chart. It was a little freebie. It's called Spring Watering Can, and I will hopefully insert a picture here. So I didn't have time to finish it into anything, and I just said, I'm really sorry, but if I wait to send this to you until after it's finished, you're not going to get it for like 2 years. And thankfully, you know, she's very understanding and she's a great person. So anyway, it just made me think of her, and I stitched it in the middle of a really busy semester, so it was just fun to do, and I like doing that kind of stuff. Okay, okay, this next finish, I'm unsure if this is totally finished or not, but for now I'm calling it a finish, so it's a finish for now. This is Adam's Menagerie by Tempting Tangles, and I am done with this center part here. I have not done any of the words, and part of the reason I haven't done the words is because I wanted to rechart the verse to be something. It's a different verse. Maybe I'll talk about it later if I pick this up again, but I did that. I actually took the time to rechart the verse, and it would just go down here on the bottom, so none of that would be stitched anyways. And the problem is I don't like the font, and so I think if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to either come up with my own font or possibly borrow one from another designer. Like I've got some Blackbird designs that come with full alphabets that I like. So I'm considering doing that, but for now, this is what the cover photo looks like, but mine looks much different because I stitched this on 32 count J linen by Picture This Plus. And here it is. Let me move in here. So I made some changes to the colors. I picked some more vibrant colors because I just like a richer color palette. And so here it is. And then I also changed Adam's skin tone because I don't believe that Adam and Eve were white and blonde. So I really love this, but if I do chart the verse, it'll be down here. And I don't know, what do you think? tell me in the comments what you think, if it's worth doing a little conversion about the verse. The verse that I want to do, it still comes from Genesis, and it's still from Genesis, but it's about being caretakers. It's about how we are supposed to be caretakers of the earth, and I feel like that is that's the story that's meaningful to me about the Adam and Eve story, and about how Adam names the animals. So that's kind of what I had in mind, but I don't know that it's necessary either to put it on there. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. All right, the next finish I have is Welcome by the Drawn Thread. Now, the stitching has been done on this for literally a year, and I finally put the last beads on in December. So it's done now, finally. What was hanging me up on this is that I couldn't find the right buttons for the star, and I did eventually find the ones that are small enough, along with the star for the Christmas tree, on Stony Creek's website. So here is Welcome Christmas, and I love it. I love these welcome series. So those berries, those are what I was waiting on. All of the stockings are over one. That took forever. Christmas tree, bird with the lights. So I love it. With this one, the last time you saw me, I talked about how I was looking for the right materials, and Gayla from StitchCon, she doesn't have a Flosstube, but she does have Instagram. Gayla reached out to me and said that she had a package of little charms that she can send me, and you know, hopefully they can work. She sent me some things for this that unfortunately didn't work out, but they're really cute, and I'm sure I will find use for those. And she asked me, you know, how many stars do you need? And I said, just one. And she said she had, you know, she had a handful of just extras that she's gonna send me, and she sent me so many. And I have all of these little yellow stars that, again, it didn't quite work out for the Welcome Christmas, but I did not let those go to waste. So I actually had this adorable Reolist kit called Penguins. So here is the Reolist kit Penguins, and it came as a kit with the fabric and everything. I don't like this fabric. It's a natural Aida 14 count. This type of fabric is just really hard to stitch on because it's really rough and you can't get rid of that texture, and I find that it shreds, you know, it shreds my floss, so I don't like to use it. So I went into my stash and I found a piece of 28 count Mercedes linen by Picture This Plus, and I used all the little stars from Gayla, and I think it's just so perfect. Look at that. It's so cute. I just can't even with this. It's so cute. I think I stitched on this one pretty monogamously as well. It didn't take me very long, you know, maybe a week of stitching, and I don't get a whole lot of time, so stitching time, I mean when the semester is going, so I just think this is so cute. And I love the little stars. And I thought they were the perfect color yellow. They matched the floss that came with the Riolas kit. This is my first Riolas kit, and I really enjoyed it. The flosses, the flosses, I believe, are like a wool or a wool blend. They're just really thick and just really nice. So, so this is done, and then since I have it out, I'll show you that I have a tiny little companion piece to stitch on another part of this fabric. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's so cute. And it's gonna look really good on the other side of this fabric, isn't it? Love it. Okay. So, so thanks, Gayla. That was just really nice of you to send me so many. Oh, here they are. These are the little charms that she sent me, and I have one extra star, so that'll be good. I've got these ornaments and a little star. And someday I want to do the Victoria Sampler bling tree. I don't have the pattern yet, but I believe that with that pattern you stitch the tree, but then you decorate it with like little things, beads and stuff that you have, and I'm wondering if those little things could go on my Christmas tree when I stitch that someday. So this is Words to Live by Justice by Heartstring Samplery, and it's all finished. Wow. This was a really nice project to have in the works. It's just, it was just really thoughtful, you know, like just stitching it made me thoughtful and almost meditative. Oh gosh. And I'm getting my master's degree in English. Can you believe it? Okay, anyway. So I love how this turned out. I wanted to use colors that, a color that reminded me of like Central America. And this is one skein of Karen Water Lily's silk floss, and I believe so this is, it's 40 count Tyco by Picture This Plus with one strand of floss over 2 threads, and I used Karen Water Lily's silk Passion, and I still have quite a bit of the skein left. So if you are interested in doing any of these Words to Live by patterns, just one skein of Karen Water Lily's silk will be good enough if you're doing 40 count with one strand over 2. And so that's done. And since I finished that, and since it's right here, I'll show you, even though this is not a finish, but I adopted Amy Loves Toads. She had Words to Live by Love, I believe is what it is, and so I started it. I started stitching on that one, and it's gonna fit on the fabric for those of you who are in the know about that question. So so yeah, it's just a nice, it's an easy little, it's just an easy stitch, and it's a charity chart. So if you're interested, this is a So Much to Love bag. I could not resist this one. I could not resist this fabric. So pretty. I have one finish from this year. I'm still saving the best for last, but I have one finish from this year, and it's a blue flower design. It's in, it was a freebie from StitchCon, and I'm keeping it in my Quilting with Nico bag. This is this is her small one, I think, small size. It fits an 8x8 Q-snap. I finished this. It's a blue flower freebie, but I mashed it together with a Sue Hillis freebie from the StitchCon book, and I'm pretty happy with the results. Isn't this really fun? So when I went to StitchCon, there was the, you know, Brood-X cicadas out, and they were just, they took over the place. And they were so loud and they were so cool, and I really enjoyed that. And so when I saw Janine's freebie, that was okay, let me see. So it says Con 21, and then right here the medallion was just like a just a regular quilt block square. So I checked the dimensions of the cicada, and I figured out that it would fit perfectly right there. So I just did it. And so I used this pattern tells you to pick your own flosses. And so I just picked a handful of purples, mostly Classic Colorworks, and one Gast, Gentle Arts. And then the cicada is done with called for or mostly called for. I might have brightened up the greens, but I don't remember, I'm sorry. But if you need the floss list for the StitchCon freebie, just let me know in the comments. So that was fun. So this is actually my first finish of 2022. So it's kind of a bonus. But I just wanted to share because I just think it's so fun, and yeah. All right, so the best finish of them all. I finished my stocking, and not only did I finish stitching it, but I sent it to my friend Tina Stitches. Many of you went over to her channel and subscribed so that you could be notified when she finished it, and she did show it in her, I think it was at the end of her whip parade, her 2021 whip parade. She showed this at the end, but she just did such a fabulous job, and it's so pretty. Is this not so special? I just love it so much. So I sent her the fabric. I mean, obviously I sent her my stitching, and I sent her all of the finishing fabric, and I sent her the trim, and I actually sent her two options for trim. I sent her some DMC pearl cotton so that she could either make a trim like this, or she could use this. Honestly, I think this is upholstery trim, but and I just said use your judgment, because she's got great judgment. And she's stitched and fully finished over 30 stockings, which is so remarkable, and I just am so happy about this. It's so generous of her to offer to do it for me. I selected a really pretty like periwinkle cotton velvet for this, and I got extra for my stocking and my husband's stocking and maybe one other stocking potentially. And she decided to make this tassel. So my son got to use this for Christmas. He was really excited about it too. He thinks it's really special. The inside fabric is just a cotton, and it kind of looks like snow. So I got some extra of this as well for future stockings. So yay, I am so excited about this. Isn't it pretty? Yeah. We haven't put Christmas away yet, but I don't know if I can put this away. I forgot to tell you that my stocking that I finished for my son is Snowman and Friends, and it's a Dimensions Gold kit. So let me check the time. Okay. Those are all of my finishes for 2021. I had 13 finishes. I also had a bookmark that I made for StitchCon, the StitchCon giveaway. So, but I actually didn't take a picture of the FFO, but I did take a picture of the stitching when it was finished, when the stitching was finished. So I'll insert that here. Hopefully that worked. But I didn't take a picture of the FFO because honestly, I was really embarrassed about it. Like, so embarrassed I couldn't even take a picture of it. And I wasn't even going to like give it away in the StitchCon exchange, but when I showed my husband, he was like, yeah, just put it in there. I'm sure it'll be fine, like, you know. So I still feel like, you know, kind of weird about that. So anyway, I have also decided to UFO 2 projects. Officially, I have decided to UFO 2 projects. So I'm going to show them to you now because I'm just going to get rid of the whatever and put the supplies back into my stash. The first one is Winter Rose Manor. Why am I UFOing this? I love this design, and the moment Teresa Bennett, Kitten Stitcher, emailed us that she had copies of this pattern, I bought one instantly, and I kitted it up like instantly, and I started it the moment I could last year, I think last December, like 2020. I kitted it up with all of the called for everything, except for I think the fabric. I used a different brew, a different, the fabric calls for Brenda's brew. I don't think I had Brenda's brew. I think I had something else, another brew. And I was stitching it and it just was not working. 36 count 1/2 with all the called for flosses, and I just couldn't do it. So then I thought, well, maybe it's the linen, and maybe some of these reds I can brighten up a little bit, and the greens. So I changed a few of the flosses and I selected 36 count Ren. And I started stitching, and I got pretty far. I mean, like, for me anyways, like, look at the house. I got pretty far in the house and the border, and this basket, honestly, this basket I've stitched 3 times because the white that I was trying to use just wasn't working for me. So there's just a lot of things that aren't working for me with this project, and I think the problem is I just haven't made it my own. I haven't selected a fabric that is more my style. You know, I gravitate to blues and greens. I haven't done that. I selected a brown, which I'm not a huge fan of brown. Another thing is the fabric count. This is the 36 count fabric, and I'm stitching 1/2, which for me, it's just not gonna work. I think I need to do either 2/2 on 36 count, or I need to go with 32 count or 40. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take out this part of the border, and I'm gonna take out probably this much, and I'm just gonna cut this out and repurpose the rest of this fabric because it's a fat quarter, and I'm sure I can use it for something else. So I am UFOing this for now, but I'm putting it back in my stash, and sometime in the future, this will call to me again, and I will give in to my urge to not use cold for anything, and it will be okay. So this is going back into my stash. The second thing that I'm UFOing for sure is Winter Rose. You probably haven't seen this in ages. This is a Mirabilia. This is, no, sorry, not Winter Rose. English Roses by Mirabilia. I really love the design, and I do want to stitch this someday, but this never, ever calls to me. And I don't know if it's just because it's not representative of anything for me, like it's not meaningful to me, or if it's because I'm not convinced that this is the right fabric for it. So this is Midnight fabric by Luminous Fiber Arts, which is probably my favorite colorway that Misty dyes. And she hasn't dyed this one in a long time, but it's nearly black. It's very, very dark blue. It's like midnight blue, you know, aptly named Midnight. So I got a fat quarter of this, so I just think that I can repurpose this for something that I love more, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually gonna take out my stitching on this because it's just one color. I don't think it'll be too much to take out. It is what it is. I'm gonna put this back in my stash, and I hope that I will stitch it someday because I do really like it. I do really, really like it, but I've just got so many other things that I would rather stitch that I just decided UFO for now. And I already do have a really good idea for this fabric, so next time you see me, I'll talk more about that. All right, so I mentioned that I have 2022 plans. I put a lot of thought into what I actually want, like what goals I actually want to set for myself. And it's important to me that they're not too, you know, pressing. Like when I make a goal, I really want to achieve it. And so I couldn't overwhelm myself. And I have so many projects, and it's felt really good to finish a lot of my things. And so once I'm done with grad school, I anticipate that I'm going to really buckle down and try to finish a lot of my projects. Because you saw all of my finishes, but I had 35 starts in 2021. Yeah, 35 starts, 13 finishes, and 2 UFOs. So still adding to my plate more than I'm taking away. So I think once I'm done with grad school, that's really what my focus is going to be. But I also want to sort of prioritize some of my stitching. And so what I felt would be reasonable for me is to select 12 projects. Initially, I thought maybe I could make one project a focus of each month, but I think that's not going to work for me, especially not like between now and May, and especially not February. February seems to be the month where everything just explodes in my face, and you know, the world is chaos, and that just seems to be the month that everything goes awry. And then March is recovery from February. So just historically, that's how things go. And I knew it wouldn't be fair of me to put more pressure on myself by assigning a certain project to a month like February or November. November is also one of those months. So what I decided to do is select 12 projects, and my measurable goal on each of these projects is to work 10 days on each of these 12 projects. So ideally, like, you know, if I was capable of doing this, I could assign one of these projects to each month, and then 10 days of that month I would work on that project. But I also thought that that might be too restrictive as well, is saying that I must work 10 days on any of these 12 projects in 1 month. So in order to just kind of open up this goal a little bit, but to make it still attainable and to still hold me to 10 days on each project, I made a simple checklist, and I'll show you what it looks like. So, so I just made a simple spreadsheet with 12 projects and then 10 boxes. So throughout the year, at any given time, whenever one of these projects calls to me, or I feel like, you know, I feel like being productive and checking something off of my list, I can look at any of these 12 projects and just pick whichever one is calling to me the most and do 1 day's worth of stitching. There is no measurement to this day of stitching. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 5 hours. It can be anything. But this is how I record my stitching, is by what I touch on that day. I just have to touch it in any capacity. I usually don't count stitching where I only put in like 5 stitches, because that to me, it just feels depressing to only have time to put in like 5 stitches. So I don't count those, but you know, I just think that this is going to be attainable, achievable. So that's kind of how I came to the system, is thinking about a monthly goal, but then opening it up to, I just have to put these many days into all of these projects. So that's my goal. How did I select 12 projects? That was difficult, because I don't know the exact amount, and this is part of why I want to do a whip parade after grad school, is so that I can actually count how many whips I have and just get them all cataloged, inventoried, and, you know, just organized. But I think I have like over 60. So I knew, looking ahead, I knew that there are some projects that are already calling to me, that I already know I want to stitch on at some point in the year. So those projects I did not include on this list, unless I had a specific goal that I wanted to set for that project. While I was finalizing this list, I also kind of took stock of what types of projects these were. I had 3 Christmas ones for sure. I had like 6 that were summer related, and at one point I had a version that was like 6 gifts and 6 just for me. But the final list, I decided to adjust seasonally. So I have 3 Christmas, 3 autumn, 3 summer, and 3 spring. Some of those are still like gifts that I really want to get done because they're just languishing, and some of them are just for fun, you know, just because I really like them and I just want to get it done and enjoy it. So aside from this list, I also know that there are some finishes that I have to get done because they have a deadline. And so I have 4 of those that have to get done. And since I already knew they had to get done, I did not include them on this list. I was going to originally, but I just have so many things that I wanted to put on this list. I had to restrict myself. So yeah, technically I have more than 12 projects that I want to work on, but it'll be fine. I added 4 that I need to finish. And I need to finish them by May, so I might even add to this must-finish list, like, once I'm done with grad school. So, let me run you through my plans. Number 1, this is going to be the list of 10 days to put on these 12 projects. So, number 1, Jingle Bells Christmas Tree Farm. I love stitching on this, and this is a gift for my middle sister, and this is by the Victoria Sampler. She said she wants it exactly like the photo, so this is everything called for. And I just worked on this recently, so I'm sorry, but I'm not going to adjust the scroll frame. But this is how far I am. So I've got all of the bottom. I have all of this bottom done except for the beads, and I'm working on this middle section here. So you can see that I'm working on this section. This needle minder came from my stitching friend, Caitlin. She was Big Apple Stitching, but I think she changed her channel name recently. I'll put it below. But I love it. I thought it was perfect for this project. So there's Jingle Bells Christmas Tree Farm by the Victoria Sampler. Next is Folk Santa. This is one of my oldest whips, and I'm doing a complete color conversion from yellow to blue. It's pretty extensive, the conversion, pretty out there. This is on 40 count antique white. And I think the reason I put this down, I'm just noticing that my fabric is discolored in the corner. It'll be fine though. It'll be fine. So this is my progress. I love this. I really love this. So you can see that I'm just changing it, totally changing it. So like all of the, so this is a yellow to blue conversion. So all of the orange is being converted to purple. All of the yellow being converted to blue. And so it's just a lot of thinking. And I started working on his coat here. And I think that this gray color, this purplish gray color, I think I wanted to change it, and I didn't leave myself a note. But that's why I stopped, because I wanted to change that color, and I didn't leave myself a note. So I'm gonna have to deal with that, and I do want to get back to this. So it's one of my oldest whips. I really enjoy it. I think a lot of you enjoy seeing it come together because it's a huge color conversion. So I just want to spend a little bit more time on it this year. And I anticipate that I will not pick this up until after grad school. All right, next is my stocking, which is Candy Cane Santa. Candy Cane Santa stocking. This is a Dimensions Gold. So this is mine, Candy Cane Santa. This is my favorite stocking of all of them, so I'm gonna make it for me. I have another Gold Dimensions stocking kit hanging in the wings for my husband, And then after that one's done, I have the polar bear stocking that Tina sent me. It's a magazine chart that I want to do. So I've got stockings. I've got stockings to occupy my stitching time. All right. So this is my progress on my stocking. Feels like I should have way more progress on this, but they're slow going, and I haven't done any of the back stitching on this. With my stocking, my Snowman and Friends stocking, I definitely back stitched as I went because I think that's just more manageable. So I've got to go in here and back stitch so that I don't feel bogged down later. So I would not be surprised if I made this more of a focus piece after grad school, but in case I don't, I have this fail-safe goal of at least 10 days. Next is Arc of White. This is by Tempting Tangles, and I am doing this as a stitch along with my friend Amy. Amy loves toads. I am in love with her version of it. She is using this woodsy kind of fabric, and the colors that she is choosing for the foliage is just perfect. So I'm really enjoying seeing her progress on it. So this is my progress on Arc of White. It's really not very much. I have this hanging thread here. And so I started in the bottom left corner with the leaves, and I don't know, like this is the called for blue for this leaf, and I think I'm gonna keep it because it's, you know, kind of frosty, but it really pops on this fabric, so I don't know if that's good or not, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go with it. I'm just gonna trust it this time. Just keep that blue because you know, frost. And then all of these spider webs, I'm trying to get up to the spider web, and so I started stitching the web, but what I've been thinking about doing is taking this out and stitching with one strand of floss for the web, so that it's more delicate, like more like a web. And I think another reason why I put this on my list is because this fabric is difficult for me to stitch on. It's just difficult to see. I didn't tell you what this was. This is a this is 32 count linen called Flotsam and Jetsam by Chromatic Alchemy. Chromatic Alchemy. It's a European dyer, and I haven't seen a lot of people stitch on this fabric in a long time. Like when I first started watching Flosstube, a lot of people were using this fabric. I just have to keep an eye on the time. But I haven't seen it. So I really liked this colorway though. Like it's a deep blue with green, and I wasn't expecting all of these splotches of white, but it's okay, and I like it. I do have an idea for this piece, this side, but I have a hard time cutting into linen until I know for sure that it's gonna work out, you know. So this is on my list because I love this design. I love that I'm stitching it with my friend Amy. I love this fabric. I just love everything about it, but it's just hard to stitch on. So what I need to do is put it on a Q-snap and leave it out in a Q-snap. I think that's what I need to do. I don't know. And it lives in my bag that Amy made for me for my birthday, for our stitch along, because it's got spiders and bats, because bats are one of my favorite animals. Bats. So she was really sweet to send that to me. She doesn't make bags to sell. She was just super sweet and sent it to me. Okay. Jumpin' Jack Frost. This is another Tempting Tangles design. This is another one of my oldest designs, projects. So that's that. I am stitching this on 28 count time Lugana Jobelin by Witchelt. And I'm pretty far on this. So I have to do all of the leaf pile and the scrolly bits, the viney bits here and here. I've got to give him a face, I think. Jack Frost, yeah, he doesn't have a face. Fill in the leaf. This is one that's just like fun to take out every now and then, but I've been stitching on it for so long now that I really need to get this done. I just want it to be done. I'm at that point where I just want it to be done. I love this fabric. This is so pretty. This is a bag from Hummingbird Hollow on Etsy. Love that. Inside fabric is pumpkins. Pretty. Okay, next one, I don't think you've seen this before. I think I started this after I went on hiatus. I discovered this designer on Instagram, and it's a Russian designer, and I sent her a message to see like how could I get her patterns. So I purchased a stack of her patterns, and this is the only one that I've started so far. Hang on. Okay, I had to grab something to show you that relates to this pattern. So anyways, I found this designer on Instagram, and this is how you spell it. And this is the pattern. I just think this is so pretty, and the reason why I wanted this and why I started it right away is because it reminds me of my grandpa, and so I thought that this could be kind of a memorial piece to him. He passed away, oh, maybe almost 10 years now, 10 years ago. Anyway, I miss him. And when I saw this, I thought, instead of putting not knowing sadness here, this is what it says, not knowing sadness. My grandpa would always encourage me by misquoting Winston Churchill. He would say, never give up, never give up, never give up. And so I think I'm going to put that here instead of not knowing sadness. And I selected my own colors for this because what's called for is DMC. There's a whole list of DMC here, and I just went through my stash and found some overdyed cottons that I want to use. And they're very bright. You can see some of them are like, wow, so bright. But I based it off of this silk embroidery that I have. So This is one of my treasured pieces of art. I actually bought this for my grandpa when I visited China, and he loved this, and it came with this amazing frame. I don't love this like yellowish kind of matte, so I think maybe at some point I will try to do something about that. But it came exactly like this when I was in China. So these colors, you know, they look, you can kind of see how this is a nice companion piece. So I selected a fabric that is a similar color to this. Now this is I believe this could be a silk gauze fabric. I know that the floss is like it's either silk or rayon. Honestly, I don't know which, but you can see it's just so gorgeous. The details are just amazing. So I tried to pull all of my color choices from this piece. My progress so far looks like this. So yeah, flowers, this is the center. I started in the middle. This is just a flax, it's a 32 count flax linen. Kitten Stitcher had some discounted flax linen on her website at one point because she had been putting together these kits, and this was left over from those kits that weren't put together. So it was like a special size, and it fit this perfectly, and the color is perfect as well. So I guess I could show you side by side. I think it. So I think it's gonna work. Close up. So I want this done like just as soon as I can. That's why I put it on my list, because I just want to have it done and displayed and enjoyed. Another reason why I have this on my list, though, other than wanting to get it done, is that they're not my normal colors that I gravitate to. There's a lot of brown and orange in this design, and neither of those are particularly enjoyable to me to stitch on, so or to stitch with. So that's another reason why I put it on my list. All right, next up, this is one I'm not going to show you because it's a secret stitch, but I think this this person probably won't watch my Flosstube. So I am working on the drawn thread Free and Brave, and I'm about halfway done, or maybe even more than halfway, because there's some really solid stitching on that one, and I've done all of that solid stitching, so I just have the whole right side of the pattern left, and I'm hoping to get that done this year. So I don't have a firm goal for that one, but it is a gift, and I don't want it to just kind of drag out. So I'm hoping that in 10 days it can actually be finished. And if not, I think I'll be motivated to just put in the extra work and finish it up. This next one is also a gift. And it's something that I hate stitching on. I just hate it. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's a Dimensions Petite seashells. This is a gift that I want to give to my mother-in-law. This is one of my oldest whips, probably, because I've been wanting to give it to her. But I just don't like to stitch on it. It's probably the colors. But I do have some good progress on it because I actually did put a lot of work into this in 2020. I think 2020. I put a lot of work into this. There's my progress. So 10 days. I'm just doing 10 days on this. Probably will not, probably won't get finished this year, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen after I graduate. This lives in another Quilting with Nico project bag. I think this is a small. I think this is one of our small ones. I think so. I just really like this fabric. Look at that. And it's got the handle. She's such a good bag maker. It's a good sewer. Okay, next one. This is number 9. Haven't seen this in a while because I don't think I touched it not even one day in 2021. Which is just, you know, what was I doing? I don't know. This is called Window and Garden. By Little Room in the Attic. She's on Etsy. She's got beautiful, beautiful watercolor patterns. They are very confetti heavy. This is part of why I didn't pick it up at all in 2021, because my brain was fried from grad school. I am so close to a finish on this one. I'm hoping that with 10 days I can actually finish it. But here is my progress. It lives in this Q-snap. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. This is a 20, I think it's 28 count dwarf Lugana. I love how this looks. I'm showing this to you at 90 degrees because of the way it's charted. I am stitching this at 90 degrees. She charts with full crosses and half crosses, but she charts her half crosses to be 2 quarter stitches, like here and here. But she recommends that for a more watercolor effect, to have your half stitches go the opposite direction of your top stitch. Well, I don't stitch the standard X. I stitch with my top right corner to bottom left corner as my top stitch, but that's how she's charted her half stitches. So I am stitching this at 90 degrees so that my full crosses, when they're turned over, will be opposite from the way the half stitches are charted. Yeah, I don't know how much that makes sense, but that's why I'm stitching it at 90 degrees. And once it is fully finished, I will just rotate it so that you can see. I don't even look at it like correctly oriented because I want to be like surprised, you know, like pleasantly surprised. It's silly, but I'm just doing that. Okay, so hopefully 10 days will finish that one. Number 10 is Flora and Fauna by Willow Hill Samplings. I received this chart as a gift from my stitching friend Deborah, and she stitched this herself, and it was gorgeous. And this design reminds me of my life here where we live. And so I am adjusting a lot from the sampler to reflect my life. So I'm making a lot of changes. And this is why it's hard to just sit down and stitch on this, because there's a lot of decision making going into it. One of the biggest, no, two of the biggest changes that I'm making is that, see here in the cover photo, there are these white lilies in between the red roses. There's some white lilies. Well, there's a charting error. On the chart, those lilies are not even charted. They're just stems. So I would have had to chart it anyways, but I decided to put tiger lilies there instead of calla lilies, white calla lilies, because tiger lilies are just more representative of like where I live and where I grew up. So they're more meaningful to me. And then the other thing is that this fox reminds me of our dog Teddy, who passed away last December, December 2020. And it's been just really, we miss him all the time. We miss him all the time. And it's so tempting to just like get another dog to, you know, hope that that ache goes away, you know, but it's just not the right thing for us to do right now, because we're just not in the right time of life to get a puppy, or even you know, like an adult rescue or anything. Just a new dog, I think, would be too much to add to our plate. So anyways, that's a long way of saying this is kind of a remembrance sampler for our dog Teddy. And that's another reason why it's just like, it's kind of hard to just pick up and work on. And I also haven't charted, I haven't recharted the fox to be like Teddy yet, so more work. This one lives on this frame, and I bought this scroll frame cover from Quilting with Nico. They are great, they're amazing. If you have something that lives on a scroll frame, you need to get one of these, because you don't want your project to fade. And also, I had one of these on my stocking, on my Snowman and Friends stocking, and I spilled a whole glass of water all over it, and this saved it. So do yourself a favor and go to her Etsy and order yourself a scroll frame cover. So I love this. This is on 40 count Valor by Picture This Plus. It's such a beautiful sagey green. Love it. And that's how far I am. I just have one of the tiger lilies charted. It's wonky because it only has 5 petals, not 6. So I was feeling kind of like about that. I started up here on the robin. I'm almost done with this massive vase thing, urn, I guess. I really love it. I do. I really, really love it. So that's why it's on my list, because I just need some extra motivation to pick it up every now and then. Next up is what I call Purple Geisha. This is Oriental Lady Beauty. I don't like that name. So it's out of this book called Oriental Odyssey by Joan Elliott. I got this book in one of Stitching Mommy's earliest giveaways. It seems like, you know, just a year ago, but it was, I think, probably several years ago now. Anyways, this is what I call Purple Geisha. I don't know if I will stitch this bottom part here, but I definitely am stitching all of her, and I'm not stitching the background behind the flowers. I'm not stitching this periwinkle color because I want the fabric to show through. And I'm stitching this for my youngest sister as a gift. I told her it's going to take ages because this is enormous, but she's willing to wait, and so that's good. I haven't stitched on this in a long time, and again, I think it's because it's on a dark fabric, and I need a better system for stitching on dark fabric. And it just takes a lot of concentration, and so it was really hard for me to pick it up. I don't think I did stitch on it. I don't think I stitched on it at all in 2021. So I do want to pick this up and work on it some more because it really does deserve a lot more time. I really like it. There's supposed to be a lot of back stitching there with the wisteria, but you see how, like, I just want this background fabric to show through because it's just so gorgeous. This is 36 count Midnight by Luminous Fiber Arts, and it will take up most of this this piece of fabric. This is a fat quarter. So I just need to, I don't know. I had it on a frame for a while, but it still didn't really encourage me to bring it out a whole lot. So I think what needs to happen is I just need to have less going on in my personal life to take this out. So this probably won't come out till after I'm done with grad school. Last but not least, this is maybe my second oldest project. It is an old dimensions kit, and it is adorable. It's called Cream for Kitty. The artwork is Jessie Wilcox Smith. Jessie Wilcox Smith. Her artwork is just delightful. I love her artwork. And I love this design. Why have I not finished this yet? Because I used the kit fabric. This was before I knew anything about subbing out anything. This was before I knew that I could pay more than $10 for an entire cross stitch project and not feel guilty about it. So I used the kit fabric. It's a 14 count cream Aida, and it's just so see-through. And I also didn't have the skill that I have now, and there's a lot of ridges in my stitching that I now know how to avoid. But this is how far I am. I'm so far along, and I'm not going to UFO this. I don't think anyway. What I really want to do is restitch it on a higher count fabric, like either a 16 count Aida or even like a linen, you know. It's just so pretty, and it needs to be done. I'm hoping that 10 days on this will finish this, or at least get me far enough in the process where I can get some momentum and like finish it. I would just really love to finish this. And then someday I'll restitch it, because like look at the cat. You can see how my stitching just has lots of ridges, and I just don't like the way that looks. So the reason why I'm going to keep stitching it, even though I don't like the way my stitching looks, is because this is one of my very first cross-stitching projects. and I feel like it would be a disservice to my past self to just discredit all of this work. And I took great pleasure in this stitch, and so I just kind of want to stitch it all the way until it's done, as a testament to the cross-stitching journey, you know. That's my thought. Now, really quick, I have 4 projects that I definitely need to finish by May of this year. So those will take priority, and so 4 extra goals on top of these 12 to finish, and I will show those to you. Number 1 is something that I haven't even kitted up yet. I decided that I want to stitch something for Otto's kindergarten teacher, and I found this design I think will be suitable. It's called Blooming Spring Pinwheel by Sub Rosa, and she's on Etsy. I just think that's so sweet. And I think what I want to do is stitch it on Aida, like a 16 count Aida. I think 16. The reason why I want to stitch it on Aida is so that my son can stitch his initials, because he can cross stitch. He knows how to cross stitch. I got him one of those like beginner kits, and he does pretty well. He's not very fast or anything, and he loses interest pretty quickly, but he can do it. And so I think if I tell him that this is for his teacher, that he'll think that's pretty special. And so there's this alphabet down here. So I think I'm just gonna have him stitch the O and the H, and then I think I'll have him stitch those in white, and then I'll put the year in white so that his teacher can kind of remember who it was from. So I'm thinking like a bluish kind of a fabric. I've seen, I think, Tarnish by Picture This Plus. I think that's a really pretty colored Aida, but I don't have any, so I don't have a lot of Aida in my stash, like in my collection. So I'm trying to say collection instead of stash, because I can't remember who I was watching on Flosstube, but she was saying she likes to use the word collection instead of stash. I think, yeah, that's what I want to say too. Next, this one you haven't seen yet. This is another gift. I won't say who it's for, just in case. But this is a Kit and Bixby design called Cats with Golden Colors. And I will be modifying this. I'm just going to stitch this cat. So I'm moving these scrolls over here, right here. And then I'm going to put a name right here instead of the alphabet. So that's what it will look like. And this is Kit and Bixby. This is a very easy project to pick up and work on. It's got 6 colors. I'm stitching mostly called for, I think, but I decided to change the, what did I change? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. I'm stitching this on, I think this is a some kind of coffee dyed fabric. I think this is, you know what? I think this is Brenda's Brew. 32 count. So that's how far I am. Just filling in that, all the black stitching, and I think it'll be good. I'm not going to put the collar on. I don't think. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't think so. So I'm almost done with this, actually. I was traveling with this for a while. Look at this needle liner. I think that's so funny. Got that at Mad for Minders. And I have the cat looking up at this other cat. I just think it's so funny. So cute. Love it. Needs to be done by May. This is one I was considering doing for Otto's kindergarten teacher, but I wanted to rechart this to say September, kindergarten, because it says September right now. But I just don't have the energy to do that, so this is cuter, but the other one's gonna be fine too. There's one secret finish that I can't show you until that person gets it. I just don't know if that person's gonna watch my videos or not, which is why I have to be careful. Okay, the last one, you have not seen my start on this, but I'm pretty far along. This is going to be another gift for a friend. This is called Living Free by the Victoria Sampler. I love the Victoria Sampler, one of my favorite designers. I'm gonna rechart the words because the person I'm giving this to is not religious, and the words say live like it's heaven on earth. And I think what I'm gonna rechart it to say is happy, 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 happy day. Because I don't know, I think it's funny, cute, you know. I pulled my own floss for this. So all floss is from Stash. Fabric is from Stash. Collection. And I don't remember. No, this is called Grass. This linen is called Grass, and I think it's 32 count. I believe it's 32 count. Grass. Anyway, isn't this pretty? I bought this pattern for myself, and I might stitch it for myself on the other half of this linen. I just think it's so pretty. But I think that this person will also really, I think this person will just really appreciate it. So the pink blossoms there are, it's just one variegated floss. It's like one of the DMC variegated floss. I think I got it for free at Keepsakes. I think this is in one of the, it's called 48, but it's got some really darks and really lights, bright pink. I thought it would be too much, but I don't think it's too much. So, very fun. All right, this is, all right, so that's all the stitching that I have to show you today, and just checking the time. I hope you enjoyed this. There's so much more of this. I've got so many more projects to show you, like whips and stuff. So please subscribe if you would like to see my whip parade in the summertime, and you know, if you're not already subscribed. I do have one other thing that I kind of wanted to do is I want to give some spotlight mentions. I mentioned that I have been sort of watching Flosstube here and there. I've been trying to keep up with all of my you know, all of my subscriptions. I haven't been watching everybody's you know, because time is limited. But over winter break and just in the last like couple months, I actually found some new Flosstubers that I wanted to give a spotlight mention to, because they work on projects that I really like. You know, they're like similar to my style of things. So if I like them, you might like them too. And these people also have less than 1,000 subscribers. And the thing with 1,000 subscribers, like, why is that a big mile marker? It's because of the algorithms. And when I give a spotlight mention to somebody who has under 1,000 subscribers, YouTube does not allow me to tag that person in my comments. Once you have 1,000 subscribers, other people can tag you, can tag your channel in their description box. So like using the @ symbol, similar to how Instagram works. So that's why it's kind of nice when people reach the mile marker of 1,000 subscribers. By the way, side note, Tina Stitches reached 1,000 subscribers, so thanks for all of you who were my subscribers who went to her channel and subscribed to her channel. Thank you for doing that. That's just really great. So, here are 5 subscribers, 5 newer Flosstubers that I really enjoy watching. The first is Bonnie at Curly Girl Crafter. Bonnie lives in Colorado, and she stitches exclusively on Aida, and she also quilts, and she just has a really fun personality, and she's just really it's just really pleasant to sit down and to listen to her updates. So check her out. She's got the cutest dog, Apollo. Her dog's name is Apollo. I don't know what kind of dog he is. I don't know if she told us, or if I just forgot, or if she hasn't mentioned it, but he's so cute. He's all white and really short hair. I just love seeing the doggo. Next one is Olia at Pacific Northwest Stitcher. That's PNW Stitcher. Her stitching style is she likes to stitch something until it's done, and she doesn't like to have a lot of whips, but she likes some really interesting things. I think she likes Reolist kits and other other kits that are similar. She just recently did a whip parade and like a plan, some plans that she has for 2022 that were really fun to see, and so I encourage you to go over there and check out what she's stitching and what she's planning on stitching, and subscribe to her channel. The next one is Kirsty at Crafting Kirsty. Kirsty is in the UK somewhere. I'm not familiar with UK geography, so I'm not exactly sure where she is. But Kirsty is, I think she said she's relatively new to stitching, but she stitches really beautiful things. She is working on the monthly series by the Waxing Moon Designs, which I've always really liked those, but they were just a little bit too large for me to commit to, stitching all of them. She's stitching every month. And she also is a quilter, and she's shown a lot of quilts on her channel. And the last update that she did in December, she actually has some really generous giveaways with, I think, Little House Needlework patterns and maybe some other ones, I can't remember, but just some really great stuff over there. So if that interests you, go to her channel and subscribe, and then enter her giveaway, because she said, I think she said January can be dull, so this is a nice way to just, spread some cheerful. The next one is, I think, Arena. I think she said her name is Arena. Her channel is Mia Stitcher, M-I-A, Mia Stitcher. She is I think she is Russian, but she decided to make her Flosstube in English, and I didn't even realize that she was not a native speaker right away when I first saw her videos. So she's like, you know, really great at English, but she said that she's doing it so that she can practice her English, and I just think, wow. I mean, anytime someone decides to film Flosstube in a language that's not their first language, I just give you props for that, because that's a lot of work and really intimidating. To me personally, it's intimidating. So props to her. And she, I actually think that she is stitching this sparrow piece. I'm looking for it, but I don't have it next to me. The sparrow piece. I think she stitched that already. And she also does a lot of seasonal stuff, Quaker stuff. So anyway, she's got some really great stuff. You should go check her out. The last one is Hillary. She's on Rustic Threads Stitching. That's her channel name, Rustic Threads Stitching. And I just really like everything that she's working on. And so I'm trying to think, what's special about her Flosstube updates is that she usually includes some of her thrift store finds, and she finds some really interesting things, like home decor stuff, and then the stuff that she's stitching on is really varied. There's just a lot of variety going on in the stuff that she works on. So that's part of why I really like watching her updates. So go and check those people out. That's 5 new to me Flosstube channels. But I also want to just give a really quick spotlight mention to 2 others that are under 1,000 subscribers that I've been watching for a while now. Number 1 is Becca, Stitching Becca. I've actually done stitch alongs with Becca, and I don't have it out here right now, but the Max's Moon, she actually stitched that to completion, and I fell by the wayside on that one. But Becca's got some really good projects, really varied. She does dimensions kit. She does a lot of dimensions kits, so if you like those, and Mirabilias and Hades, and some other things, you know, but she's just really enjoyable, and she's in Sweden, so she's Swedish, and again, films in English and does an excellent job. And I just really love her aesthetic and her personality. She's always really fun to watch. So Becca at Stitching Becca. And then the last one I'll mention today is Natalie. She's at Home Sweet Home Handmade. She's also in the UK. She's so pleasant to watch her updates. I just love her her aura, you know, she's so just pleasant. And she recently did a whip parade. She's also an exclusive Ada stitcher, but she's got a lot of variety in the things that she does. She does a lot of gift stitching, you know, like I do. So that's one thing that I like about seeing her stuff. And her sister is a stitcher, so they stitch things for each other sometimes. And let's see, she's got Blackbird design stuff. She's got some more retro things. She's got is it like Brenda Gervais? I think she's got 1 or 2 of those. Anyway, I mean, just really sweet, just sweet. So she's got almost 1,000 subscribers. I think Natalie and Becca both have almost 1,000 subscribers, so it would be great to see them get 1,000. That is all I had for you today, and I'm really tired, and I have to start getting in the mindset of going going to school because school starts this week. I'm taking some classes and I'm teaching one class again. Teaching has been interesting. There's been pros and cons to teaching English composition. You know, mostly positive, but teaching is so underrated, I think. Just it's interesting. So I have to get in the mindset of starting that a new semester tomorrow, and it's already been a little bit dramatic. And the semester hasn't even started, and I've already, you know, got some things going on that I'm putting out fires, basically. Otto's doing really well in school. He is an advanced reader, which is great. If you have young kids who are getting to the point where they're ready to read, we used 2 apps. One is called DuoABC. If you're familiar with the Duolingo app, it's a foreign language app where you can learn foreign languages, and it's a free app. And sometime in 2020, I discovered that Duolingo, the same producers, the people who make Duolingo, they made another app called DuoABC, and it's a free app made for kids who are just learning to read and recognize letters. And it's like a fun game. So sometimes I would let him play that. It taught him the alphabet. It taught him a lot of really good stuff. And the other thing that we used was an app called ReadingIQ. And that app is $10 a month, I think. No, not a month. $10 a year. Even if it was $10 a month, it would be worth it. It is an app where they have all these kids' books, and they have narrated kids' books, children's books, you know. And it's really easy to see which ones are narrated and which ones aren't. So when we gave Otto the iPad and we told him he could use that app, he could do it on his own. Like, he could see which books had the read to me option, and he could just click it and then it would read to him. And it shows you the pictures, and it also has the words at the bottom, and I think some of them even highlight the words as they're read, so the kids can like read along with them. So between those 2 apps, and then, like, you know, we would read to him too, and we would answer questions as he was curious, like about how to write a certain letter or how to spell a certain word, I don't know. I think, you know, all of that together really gave him a huge jump start on reading in kindergarten. He's reading at a level that they want first graders to end with. So he's doing really well. There's some social things, you know, that he's still working on, which is fine. He's still like kind of right where he needs to be for his age. He loves science. He wants to be a scientist when he grows up, I guess. A scientist and a dad. He wants to be a scientist and a dad. And he's always drawing pictures of monsters and other like creative disasters. He's just funny. He comes up with a lot of funny things. So he's doing really well. He has made friends at kindergarten. He still misses his old friends at preschool, and he tells us that every now and then. And, you know, I don't know, this is just going to be something he's got to live through. Like nostalgia, it'll become nostalgia or something. He got his first round of the COVID vaccine which is good because his school is electing to get rid of masks in January, or at least like make them optional. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I kind of know how I feel about that, but I don't need to talk about that one at length. But he did get his vaccine. He'll get his follow-up soon. I got my booster, and everything's fine there. We're going back with masks on campus, which is fine with me because honestly, I almost always catch some kind of cold or illness when I go back to a new semester at school, and with the masks, I didn't, and that was great. I did get a cold last week, but I'm pretty sure I got it from somebody who wasn't wearing a mask around. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to share in this brief life update. Just keeping on. Next time I see you, I'll give you an actual update, and then after that I'll do a glorious whip parade, and it'll be great. And I hope everyone is well, and yeah, just I hope you're well, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're secure, and I wish you all the best for the new year. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see my next update, you want to know when I post my next video. But I've enjoyed this random day that I could spend with you. So take care, everyone.